Hi gozaimasu, konnichiwa, konbanwa, wherever you are at in the world, welcome to Last Drafts Baseball's live commentary of the Nippon Professional Baseball League. The commentary and views are our opinions and are not affiliated with the NPB, the Pacific League, Central League, or their sponsors. We're giving English reports on the game being played and hope that English-speaking audiences around the globe can enjoy the games on YouTube along with us. Tonight, this is the second exhibition game of the season that we are calling. It is going to be, again, between the Tokyo Yakult Swallows and the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham Fighters. Last night, we called the ball game, and it was a well-played 1-0 ball game as the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham Fighters capitalized on the only hit that they had to score their only run. And tonight, we are going to be giving you all the play-by-play. And so we'll start off by giving you the starting lineups from the visiting Tokyo Yakult Swallows. Leading off and playing in center field, wearing number 9, is Yasaka Shiomi. Batting second and doing the designated hitting tonight is number 23, Nori Aoki. Batting third and playing second base is Tetsudo Yamada. In the cleanup spot and playing third base is Munetaka Murakami. Batting fifth and playing first base, wearing number 13, is Jose Ozuna. Batting sixth in left field, wearing number 10, is Takahiro Araki. Batting seventh and playing shortstop, wearing number 58, is Hideki Nagioka. Batting eighth and doing the catching is Yudai Koga. He'll wear number 57. And batting ninth in right field, wearing number 4, is Kazu Murayama. And they'll be facing a left-hander on the mound today for the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham Fighters, and that's going to be Haruka Nemoto. He's getting the nod for the Ham Fighters today. And so we will be giving you the starting lineups after the half inning as the Ham Fighters will be coming to bat. And we are going to be giving you the information here in the top of the first inning with regards to everything else. We're just about ready to get underway. We're a little bit behind in our scheduling, but we are glad to have those of you, whether you're listening live or tuning in on delay, to the ball game that we are going to be providing today. So leading off for the Swallows, you got the start last night. There's probably, I think there's 6 players, if I look at my scorecard from last night, in the lineup tonight that were that saw action. Actually, 7 players that saw action last night in the Yakult Swallow lineup. And so leading off is Yasutaka Shiomi. Shiomi last night got the start and was 1 for 4. He singled and was forced out in a fielder's choice. And he ended up flying out the other 3 times he came to the plate. So here's the first pitch of the ball game. It's a fastball. It's an check swing, and it's hit through the 4-hole. And I don't know what's going on here. We saw this last night. The Hokkaido Nippon-Ham Fighters, they come up throwing, but I'm not sure where they're throwing the ball. The right fielder picks up the ball, and he fires the ball, and it goes in the direction of home plate. So it looks like he's coming up throwing as if he's coming to throw to first base, but it ends up going past the proverbial cutoff man all the way to the plate. So Shiomi is on board with a base hit single, and that is going to bring up the designated hitter tonight, Nori Aoki. Aoki last night reached base a couple of times. He reached on a fielder's choice, and then he also singled. He takes a first pitch fastball over for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. Of course, Nori Aoki had the opportunity to play in the major leagues. He's in the twilight of his career. He is pushing 40 years old. So left-hander against the left-hander. Nemoto kicks and delivers. There's a fastball that misses just up. And the count is now 1 ball and 1 strike. The temperature is a balmy 72 degrees in the Sapporo Dome, as the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham Fighters are the home team. They're wearing their white with the blue trim. The blue is on the left side of the jersey, and it's white all down the right side. They have their sleeves underneath, as Nemoto throws over to first base, and getting back in time is the base runner Shiomi. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Nemoto gets the sign from his catcher, and he again flips it over to first base. And back in time easily is Shiomi. Doing the catching tight for the Ham Fighters, or the Nippon-Ham Fighters, is Hayami. He gets the nod this evening. So here comes the 1-1 pitch from Niimoto, and again he throws over to first base, and this time diving back to the bag is Shiomi. So we were saying about the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham Fighter uniforms, the white tops but blue on the left side. They've got a blue hat with the white F on the front. They've got white pants with blue piping down the side. Here comes the 1-1 pitch, and it's a fastball swung on. It is lifted into right center field. Moving over underneath it is the right fielder Imagawa. He's going to make the catch. And that is going to retire Aoki for the first out of the inning. So Aoki is gone for out number 1, and that's going to bring up the second baseman, Tetsudo Yamada. For Yamada, he got the start last night for the Swallows as well. He had a hit and 2 trips to the plate. I'd be curious to see if they're going to do a similar type of approach as they did last night, where they have the starters in for 4 or 5 or 6 innings, and then they replace them, as most of the players were replaced last night. The first pitch to Yamada is a fastball that's up in the zone, and the count is 1-0. Yamada and Murakami both last year drove in 100 runs. They're a very productive offense in the middle of the order. So here comes the 1-0 pitch, and it's a fastball. And there goes the runner down to second, and that ball is fired into center field. It's picked up by a charging center fielder, Kondo. He throws to third, but it's not in time. So that's going to be a stolen base for Shiomi. It's going to be an error on the catcher, and that is going to be the advancement to Shiomi to third base. So Shiomi goes all the way around to third. And for those of you who tuned in last night or were listening on delay last night, the Nippon-Ham Fighters made some fantastic plays defensively last night. And some good throws from the outfield through cutoff men. It was a very well-played defensive game. The only gaffe that they may have made was the rundown. They still got the out, but it took too many throws. Here's the 2-0 pitch to, or the 1-0 pitch to Yamada, is a breaking ball that misses upstairs, and the count runs to 2-0. A sparse crowd in the house tonight, not just at the Sapporo Dome, but in our audience, and TYN checks in as he says, "Let's go, Big Boss." And there is a breaking ball that catches the corner, and the count's now 3-1. Of course, Shinjo signed himself a 1-year contract to manage the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham Fighters. This is just over $800,000 US. So here comes the 3-1 pitch, and it's a breaking ball that misses way outside. And Yamada is aboard with a walk, and that's going to put runners on the corners. And that's going to bring up the heavy-hitting third baseman, Munetaka Murakami. So Murakami strides to the plate. One thing I will say is last night, the Swallows, he made the only error for the Swallows last night defensively. But if I had to say, he was a little bit shaky on the defensive side. There were a couple of balls that were hit to him. He made a couple of throws that drew the first baseman off the bag. So there's one away. There's runners on the corners. The left-handed batting Murakami steps into the plate. Yamamoto gets the sign from his catcher, and there's a breaking ball that's handcuffs the catcher, and easily stealing second base on the first pitch is Yamada. So now that puts runners at second and third. Be curious to see what they do with the young left-handed stick. That'll be a stolen base, so they are running right out of the gate on this young catcher. So the runners are at second and third. It's 1 ball and a no strike to Murakami. And here's the pitch. It is a fastball that is check swing and fouled away. And the count is now 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. The youngster at the plate, very advanced for his age with the bat. I would say there's still a lot of room for growth based on what I saw in playing third base last night. There's a fastball that swung on and fouled away over the third base side. And the count is 1-2. Well, when I think of that, it's not necessarily a criticism. I think of the way that the Boston Red Sox Rafael Devers has developed. He was an advanced bat for his young age, and of course, struggled with the glove, but he's been making strides and good improvements at third base for the Boston Red Sox. So now the catcher has called time, and he's going out to speak to Niyamoto. There are two players in the Nippon-Ham Fighters lineup that are wearing triple-digit numbers. One of them is the catcher. He's wearing 122. The other is the second baseman tonight, Ryuhei Namba. He is wearing 155. So Murakami digs in at the plate. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Yamamoto kicks and delivers. It's a fastball that misses down and away, and the count goes even to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. We got Ben Roberts in the house, and great to have you back here too, Ben. We appreciate you being here. We'll be back on again tomorrow night. Hopefully you can join us. So 2 balls and 2 strikes, and here's the pitch. It is a fastball that's in on the hands. It's a check swing foul by Murakami. And the count is still 2-2. Our plan is we'll be back on the air tomorrow to call another ball game. But we are going to take the weekend off. And then we will be on next week as well. So we'll try to post a couple of days in advance. We're not going to call a full slate of spring training games. There's a fastball that misses down and away. And the count now runs 3-2 to Murakami. So just as the players are getting their preseason reps, so am I getting the preseason reps, getting a little bit comfortable, relaxing, trying to feel comfortable in making the calls, starting to learn some of the younger players and get to know them and have a chance to watch them. There's a fastball that misses upstairs to Murakami, and he draws himself a walk to load the bases. That's going to bring up tonight's first baseman, Jose Ozuna. Ozuna got the start last night as well. He had a couple of plate appearances. He grounded to the shortstop, and he flew out to the center fielder. Well, with not much baseball going on in North America other than college baseball, hopefully the Japanese baseball will be able to fill the void for us. So Jose Ozuna steps up to the plate. He had 258 last year with 13 homers and 60 runs batted in. He's got himself an open stance, and here comes the pitch. It is a breaking ball that misses inside. And the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. As we mentioned last night, the Ham Fighters really had some spectacular defensive plays. There's a fastball swung on. This is lifted foul. It's going to reach the seats on the first base side. The count goes to 1-1. Ben Roberts says the big boss is the new manager. He's a real character. He absolutely is. He's 49 years old. As we mentioned at the top of the cast, he signed a 1-year contract to manage the Nippon-Ham Fighters for just over $800,000 US, and there's a breaking ball swung on and missed. And Ozuna is now behind in the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes. The left fielder tonight, Takahiro Araki, is waiting on deck. Well, I think he's going to have to be a manager. He's going to have to also be a cheerleader for this group. He's got the sunglasses on indoors. There's a fastball swung on. It's a jam job. It's popped up, and there's some confusion as to who's going to get it. And the first baseman, who tonight is Wang Po Jung, comes in and makes the catch. The Taiwanese player who's more of an outfielder than he is a first baseman. That ball was caught in foul territory. but the pitcher was running off the mound to escape. He wasn't even going to the ball. It looked like he was going to back up a play somewhere. And the catcher, he was a bit confused, so that's the second out of the inning, and that brings up tonight's left fielder, Takahiro Araki. Araki came in last night's game as a substitute. He actually came in for Ozuna. He had a single last night and was thrown out trying to stretch that single into a double. There's a fastball that misses down and in. And the count is 1-0. Araki stands in. He's a right-handed stick, left-hander against the right-hander. Here's the pitch from Miyamoto. It's a fastball that misses upstairs, and the count is now 2-0. So unlike last night's ball game where pitching efficiency was on display, Miyamoto is about to throw his 23rd pitch of the first inning. He's struggling with his command right now. So 2 balls and no strikes. And here's the pitch. It's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike, and the count now goes to 2-1 on Araki. He's got to come after him. There's nowhere to put him. The bases are loaded. So back to the big boss a little bit. I think the hiring of him is, I say, a bit peculiar, but he's got some energy. He's a young guy. He's a young manager, 49 years old. There's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count now goes to 3-1 to Araki. But the Nippon-Ham fighters are going to have a young ball club, and I guess they feel that they need to have somebody to be able to relate to the kids. And one would think that they're still in a transition point. They're going to have some enthusiasm and some energy. So here comes the 3-1 pitch. It's a fastball swung on. It's lifted foul over on the first base side behind home plate. That's going to run the count to 3-2. But you also have to wonder if that entertaining act is going to wear thin at some point, because playing at a dome stadium, he's got sunglasses on that look like ski goggles. So the good news is once the game is over, he can go straight to the mountains. And there is a fastball that misses up and away, and Araki draws a bases-loaded walk. That is going to be the first run of the ball game for the Yakult Swallows. As Shiomi crosses the plate, and that is going to bring up the shortstop, Hideki Nagaoka. Nagaoka last night did not get the start. He came in and replaced Tori Aoki. He went 1 for 2 at the plate last night. He replaced Aoki, but came in to play shortstop. And here comes the first pitch, and it is a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike. The count is 0-1. This is the 7th batter of the first inning. Last season, he was 0 for 9, mainly used also as a pinch runner. Here's the pitch. It is a breaking ball that is waved at and missed. The count is 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes. If Ben Roberts is still in the house, I understand that the Chibalote Marines have retired that mascot who came out of the egg or whatever it was last year, that fish-looking thing. There's a fastball that's swung on, and it's chopped foul over on the first base side. The count remains at 0-2. Last night, the traveling Yakult Swallows fans, and there seems to be more Swallows fans at this game than there are Nippon-Ham fighter fans. And they had the umbrella dance going in full fashion. It's nice to see some fans in the stands. It's not full attendance, but in an exhibition game, one wouldn't expect it anyway. There's a fastball that misses upstairs, and the count now goes to 1-2 to Nagaoka. And now Nemoto is up to 30 pitches. I guess when you play, whatever they played last year, 60-some-odd home games, that fish act that comes out of center field becomes sort of stale after a while. Here comes the pitch. It's a breaking ball that misses down and away, and now the count goes to 2-2. Well, it makes me wonder after this act if Nemoto is going to have much left in him after this. He's all over the place, not hitting his spots. As we said last night, the pitching efficiency was quite good. As Ben Roberts says, the fish man, rest in peace. Yeah, that had to be one of the oddest mascots. There's a fastball that's delivered, and that misses upstairs, and that runs the count now full to Nagioka. And the big boss has taken off his sunglasses now, as I think his eyes have been disturbed by what he's witnessing here. Here comes the 3-2 pitch. Nagioka gets the sign from his catcher. He comes set at the chest. He kicks and delivers. There's a breaking ball. This is lifted into shallow right field. Coming in on it, and he's got a beat on it, is Imagawa. He's going to make the catch, and that is going to do it for out number 3. But there's been some damage done here in the first inning. Unfortunately for Niyomoto, the damage has been limited. There was 1 run on 1 hit. There were no errors and 3 runners left aboard. We're through a half inning. It is the Yakult Swallows 1, the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham Fighters nothing. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a moment. We're going to play our intro a couple times tonight. Get used to that, and you can get used to it too. Welcome back, everybody. We'll give you the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham Fighters starting lineup tonight, and they're going to lead off with Wangpo Jung as the first baseman, leading off, wearing number 3. Batting second is Kotaro Kiyomiya. He's in left field. He'll wear number 21. The center fielder is Kensuke Kondo. He was going to wear number 8. Batting fourth in the cleanup spot is the right fielder, number 61, Yuma Imagawa. Number 60, Takuya Kori is the shortstop, and he's going to bat 5th. Batting 6th is the catcher, and that is Takanori Hayami. He wears 122 tonight. The third baseman is number 23, Ryo Watanabe. He got the start last night at first base. The second baseman is Yuhei Namba. He is wearing number 155. So 2 players in the batting order wearing triple-digit numbers. And then the DH tonight is Chuhei Menunami, and he wears number 66. He got the start in right field last night, but he is the designated hitter tonight. So here we go with the first pitch of the bottom of the first inning, and it is a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. On the mound for the Swallows is Minori Ishikawa. The left-hander goes to work, and there is a breaking ball that misses low, and the count is 1-1. So Ben Roberts says he seems to be very popular with the fans. Yeah, the big boss definitely has that popularity. They seem to really enjoy his character. And there's a check swing that's tapped back to the pitcher. Ishikawa gets it. He flips it over to first. I have to say, the check swing by Jung there that was tapped back to the pitcher as he's grounded out 1-3. Ishikawa really casually made that play. He picked it up. He had a lot of time to be able to pretty much run it toward first base and make a flip or make a hard throw. But the toss that he threw over to first base, it was rather adventuresome. Almost a little bit of panic in the toss. So here comes the left-handed hitting Kotaro Kiyomiya, and he takes a fastball for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. We also notice a very young lineup for the Nippon-Ham Fighters last night. There's a fastball swung on its tap foul over on the first base side, just past the bag at first base, and the count now is 0-2. I certainly didn't make the Swallows pitchers work too hard. Only 1 hit and 1 run last night. They didn't get that hit until the bottom of the 7th inning, and here comes the pitch from Ishikawa. It's a fastball that swung on and fouled away. It reaches the seats on the third base side, and the count remains at 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes. Kiyomiya gets the start in left field tonight. He's got that slightly open stance. His hands are held a little bit back up high, and there's a breaking ball down. He checks his swing. They appeal over to the third base umpire, but they said Kiyomiya didn't go, and the count remains at 1-2. So here comes the 1-2 pitch, and there is a fastball swung on. This ball is spanked up the middle for a base hit. Moving over to his left to field it is Shiomi. He gets it back into the infield, but is a base hit. So already the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham fighters have equaled their total of hits from last night's ball game with this base hit single. And now there's a runner on first with one away, and that's going to bring up the center fielder Kensuke Kondo. Kondo did not get the start last night. He did come in. He did draw a walk in the seventh inning to get things going last night for the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham fighters. He bats from the left side. Here's the pitch. It's a fastball swung on and missed, and the count is 0-1. Ben Roberts says in the chat he hopes that Kiyomiya can put things together this year. One of the folks in the chat last night was asking about Kiyomiya and if he was in the lineup and so on and so forth. And that's what a lot of people say. There's a lot of expectations on his plate. There's a fastball that misses outside. And the count is now 1-1. Well, certainly when you look at the Swallows lineup, there's little doubt how they won the whole thing last year. You've got two players in the middle of their lineup with Yamada and Murakami who drove in 100 runs. And they don't have in the lineup tonight. Domingo Santana is getting the night off. There's a breaking ball that misses outside. The count is now 2-1. But with Santana, Ozuna, Aoki, Araki, Shiomi, they can run 6-7 hitters deep in the lineup. Where I look at the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham fighters, and I'm not sure where you can find two guys that you can string together. There's a fastball swung on, and Kondo is aboard with a base hit single. That one's into center field. And now we've got runners on first and second. So with runners on first and second, that's going to bring up the right fielder, Yuma Imagawa. So we're getting our first look at Imagawa. He did not appear in the lineup last night. So we did not see any import players in the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham fighter lineup last night, and right now there's nothing there as well. Although the import players for the Swallows are there. Of course, they've got Ozuna, and of course, last night we saw Santana. That's a bit unfair. I guess Wang Po Jung is also considered an import as he is Taiwanese. There's a breaking ball that just catches the outside corner, and count quickly is 1-1 on Imagawa. I have to apologize if there's any enunciation errors. It's not out of intent, and there is a breaking ball swung on and missed, and Imagawa is in the hole now 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes. We're glad you can check it out and make it in tonight. And if you're not going to stick around for the whole game, bookmark us and make sure you dial in for some regular season action at some point. So here comes the 0-2 pitch to Imagawa. Ishikawa kicks and delivers. It's a fastball. And that is fired down to first base, and Kondo gets back into the bag. The catcher really had to pop, and that was Okoga. He went down, threw down to first base. Getting back in time is the base runner, Kondo. So there's runners at first and second. It's Kiyomiya at second and Kondo at first. And the pitcher, Ishikawa, steps off the rubber on the backside towards second base. And scampering back in time is the base runner, Kiyomiya. It's one thing I picked up a few years ago in Edmonton. They can't get you both. So if the catcher is going to throw down to first base, we would have the runner at second base take off for third. So they'd have to complete multiple throws across the infield. There's a ball down in the dirt, and Imagawa now has the count run even to him at 2-2. So neither starting pitcher tonight has been sharp. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. There's the pitch to Imagawa. It's a fastball swung on. It is pulled foul down the third base side. And the count remains at 2-2. When I say not sharp, they've missed their spots. They're having trouble locating. So I have a feeling we're going to be here for a bit. Last night, I think the game was about 2 hours and 40 minutes, approximately. It was a very quickly played game. Not a ton of traffic on the base paths, enough to keep the game interesting. But I have a feeling tonight in this first inning, we could be here for a while. Here's the 2-2 pitch. It's a breaking ball. This is swung on. It's taken on one hop by the shortstop. Over to second to Yamada for 1. And over to first for Ozuna. And that is going to be a double play. So that's going to go down as a 6-4-3 double play to end the inning. And we will retire that side here. So for the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham fighters, there were no runs on 2 hits. There were no errors and 1 runner left aboard. We'll be back in about 30 seconds, and then we'll give our thoughts on the MLB players coming over during the lockout after this. Welcome back, everybody. We'll add a few comments to this. Ben Roberts says, any rumors of MLB players coming over to Japan during the lockout? Yeah, we saw that Bryce Harper was posing with a jersey in the last week, and also there was another player who was posing with a Mexican jersey. And, of course, there was talk that, maybe during the lockout they come over. I don't really think that the Japanese league, with all of the import rules that they have, will allow for players to be brought in only to have to bring back players to fill the void. So in a temporary short move, I think it would be pretty good, but long term, I'm not sure it would be the best decision. So that's my thoughts on the lockout players. So we're back to the live action. It was 33 pitches in the first inning for the left-hander Nemoto. He's coming back out for inning number 2 of work. And the first pitch he delivers to Yudai Koga, the catcher, is a breaking ball that misses down and in, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. Nemoto gets ready to go back to work. He kicks and delivers. There's a fastball swung on its tap foul over by the third base coach's box. Good hands by the third base coach to field it, and he flips it into the stands for a souvenir. Makes the count 1-1. So, for example, I think in Major League Baseball, there is an import rule in Major League Baseball that people sometimes aren't always aware of, and there's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike. The count is 1-2. Each team is allotted a certain number of visas from your Major League team right down to the rookie ball club. Comes the 1-2 pitch. There is a fastball that is upstairs. They appeal down to the first base hump, and they say that Koga didn't go, and the count is now 2-2. It was brought to light really after the events of September 11th, when the Americans clamped down on the visas and what they had happen. And here's a fastball that swung on. It's grounded over to second. It's fielded neatly by the second baseman Namba. He flips it over to first, and Yudai Koga is erased. Goes as a ground out, 4-3 for the first out of the inning. It's going to bring up the 9-hole hitter Kazu Murayama. So after the events of September 11th, Major League Baseball allotted 25 visas per team. So that meant your major league team all the way down to rookie ball, you could only have 25 import players. Of course, they've since relaxed that, but I'm not sure exactly what that number has come out to be. There's a breaking ball that is taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. So during that time, the Oakland Athletics had a minor league affiliate in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. So they actually had a couple extra Canadians on the roster, but they were only playing in the home games in Canada because they couldn't go down to the States and play on the road because they didn't have a visa. And there is a breaking ball. It swung on. It softly popped up over to third base. Watanabe moves into foul territory and he makes the catch. And that is going to retire the right fielder Murayama for out number 2. So 2 away, and that brings the top of the order, Yasutaka Shiomi, to the plate. He singled in the first inning. He stole the base, and he went over to third on the error by the catcher. He hit .278 last year with 14 homers and 59 runs batted in. The first pitch he sees is a fastball, and it's laced down the left field line. It's into the corner. It's off the Sapporo sign. Moving over to pick it up is the left fielder, Kiyomiya. He fields it, he fires it back in, and that is going to hold Shiomi to a double. So he's got 2 hits now and 2 at-bats with a 2-out double here in the top of the second inning. So Ben Roberts says he didn't know that Major League Baseball had visa limits. Yeah, visa limits per roster, and I don't know all the details, but you may note that a couple of years ago, to sort of circumvent that, they created the Dominican Summer League. So in the Dominican Summer League, most of the teams, in fact, I think all the Major League teams have Dominican Summer League teams. So they could bury their Latin players into that league and not have to use a visa to bring them into North America, or at least into Canada and the United States. There's a breaking ball delivered to Nori Aoki that misses outside. The count is 1-0. But with only really the first team and the second team in Japan and 70-player limit, and here is a fastball to Aoki. It's swung on. It's popped up over on the right side of the infield. Camping out underneath it is the second baseman, Namba, and he is going to put it away. Namba had a busy inning as he was involved in 2 of the outs. That is going to be out number 3. That will do it here in the second inning for the Swallows. So for the Swallows in their half, they had no runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 runner left aboard. Through 1.5, it is the Yakult Swallows 1, the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham Fighters nothing. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple moments. As I say, we're playing around with some of our new features here. And so we'll run our little banner again to give you a little flavor of what we got. Welcome back, everybody. We're moving to the bottom of the second inning, and the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham Fighters will be sending their 5, 6, and 7 hitters to the plate, but we'll be back in just a moment as the pitcher Ishikawa is completing his warm-up tosses. We'll be back for the action in just a moment after these tunes. Welcome back, everybody. It is Takuya Corey, who is stepping up. He's getting the started shortstop tonight, and the first pitch he saw was a breaking ball that is tap foul on the third base side. The count is quickly 0-1. Ishikawa goes back into the motion. He kicks and delivers. There's a fastball swung on. It is lifted into left field. Moving over underneath it is Araki. He's going to make the grab, and Corey is going to be retired. That's something we noticed last night is this young Hokkaido Nippon-Ham fighter team, very aggressive at the plate. A lot of first pitch swinging, and of course, not a lot of success last night, not a lot of patience at the plate. That's what you get with a young team, young at bats. And you get the players there sometimes very aggressive, not necessarily swinging at the best pitches. But Corey did put a little sting into that one. So here comes the catcher Hayami up to bat, and the first pitch to him is a breaking ball that misses for a ball. We also saw a couple other things last night too. Normally in the Japanese league, there's a lot of bunting, and you'll see some of that stuff. And here comes the 1-0 pitch. It's a fastball swung on. It is fouled off just beyond the bag at third base, and the count is 1-1. Well, we see some of that stuff, and we have, as we look in here again, and there's a fastball that's swung on. It is hit to deep right field. Moving back onto the warning track is the right fielder, and that is Murayama, and he's going to make the catch, and that is going to do it for out number 2. So 2 up and 2 away. So 2 up and 2 away, and that's going to leave it up to the third baseman, Ryo Watanabe. Watanabe, of course, got the start last night at first base. He was 0 for 2 last night. Tonight he gets the call at third base. He stands in on the right side. He's got his hands up rather high. Here comes the first pitch. It is a breaking ball, swung on and missed, and the count is 0-1. Last year he hit .242 with 3 homers to go with 29 runs batted in. So here comes the 0-1 pitch from Ishikawa. It's swung on, and it is grounded foul on the third base side, and the count is now 0-2. One thing I will say is just the approach at the plate of the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham fighters. They're trying to, certainly the last 2 hitters here of trying to pull everything, it seems like, at the plate. Even Corey, the shortstop, turned around and pulled everything. It's, not using the hard field. The toughest thing is to try to defend a player line to line. And there's another ball that is hook-barreled foul down the left field line. The ball boy comes over to make the play on it. And the count remains at 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes. Ishikawa delivers. It's a breaking ball, waved at and missed. And that is going to do it here in the bottom of the second inning. So quick work of the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham fighters by Ishikawa. There was no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. We are now through 2 complete innings. It is the Yakult Swallows 1, the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham fighters nothing. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a moment after we play around with a little bit of this. Would you like to support Last Drafts Baseball? We would appreciate it if you did. Be sure to check out our eBay page where we have baseball merchandise. We also have stuff from the Japanese League for those who listen from Japan, but we also do other sports like football and basketball as well. Don't forget, visit Last Drafts Baseball's eBay store to help support the channel. We'll be glad you did. Welcome back, everybody. It's going to be the 3, 4, and 5 hitters in the batting order for the Yakult Swallows. It's going to be Tetsudo Yamada, and then it's going to be Munetaka Murakami and Jose Ozuna slated to face the lefty, which is Haruka Nemoto, who's back out for his third inning of work. Here's the first pitch delivered to Yamada. It's a fastball that misses upstairs for ball one. We noticed last night when Yamada came to the plate that he got a lot of favorable calls from the umpires, that's for sure. Here's the pitch. It's a breaking ball. It's taken for a called strike. Count goes to 1-1. And so that's what you get when you have a veteran at the plate. Any of those close calls usually end up going in his favor. So here's the 1-1 pitch. It's a breaking ball taken for a called strike. The count is now 1-2. And of course, I say that, and that pitch was a little bit dicey on the inside part of the plate, but upon further review of the replay, I have to agree with the home plate umpire. So here comes the 1-2 pitch. There is a breaking ball swung on and missed. It's dropped by the catcher. Kami picks it up. He throws to first, and that is going to retire Yamada. It's going to go down as a strikeout, 2-3 on the putout for out number 1 here in the top of the third inning. And that is going to bring up the third baseman, Munetaka Murakami. Interested again to see how long the starters will stay in the lineup. Last night we were having to get the erasers out and the pencil sharp to scratch out the players, as by about the 5th inning, players were leaving the ball game. Imoto gets ready to pitch. He kicks and delivers. There's a fastball that misses upstairs. And the count is 1-0. So the question from Ben Roberts is who are the starting pitchers in last night's game? The starting pitchers for the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham fighters was Takayuki Kato. There's a breaking ball that comes across for a called strike, and the count now is 1-1 to Murakami. They used 3 pitches last night. They followed up Kato with Hiromi Ito, and then they closed out with the former number 1 pick, Kosei Yoshida. Of course, it was a bit of a nail-biter in the top of the 9th inning. He loaded the bases. And there is a breaking ball that misses down, and the count is 2-1 now to Murakami. And again, Nemoto goes back to work. He throws a fastball and blows it by the left-handed stick. The count is now 2-2. Well, the starting pitcher last night for the Swallows was Yasuhiro Agawa. He was followed by Yuta Karakubo. And then it was Hirotoshi Takanashi who finished it off. And there is a fastball swung on and missed. Murakami has gone for the second out of the inning. So Miyamoto is picking up the pace here. I guess he didn't expect the fastball to be coming with a 2-2 count. He blew that right by him. He must have been looking for something else. So the question from Ben Roberts is how did Yoshida look? I thought Yoshida pitched well in the 8th inning last night. And then in the 9th inning, he came in, and as he came back again, and it looked a little bit rugged. And here's a breaking ball. First pitch swung on. This is lifted into right center field. Moving over on it is the center fielder, Kondo. He makes the catch. And just like in last night's game, it's kind of funny. So he makes the catch, and he comes up throwing to the plate all the way to the catcher, who puts the tag on nobody. And that's something that the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham fighters were doing. So Ozuna is retired on a fly ball to center field. But they come up and they're working on their throws. I find that fascinating. So there was no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board here in the 3rd inning. We're moving to the bottom of the 3rd. It is the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham fighters trailing the Tokyo Yakult Swallows 1-0. I'll be back to give you my other thoughts on Yoshida. Hang tight, everybody. I'm glad you're with us. Welcome back, everybody. We are going to the bottom half of the 3rd inning. It's going to be the 8, 9, and 1 hitters coming up for the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham fighters. That means it's going to be Yuhei Namba, Chuhei Menanami, and Wang Po Jung will be the top of the order. And it looks like they are still going to be facing Ishikawa. So last night the pitchers seemed to, it was three, I think it was 3-3-3 for the, or 3-3-2 for the Swallows. For the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham fighters, I think it was 4-3-2. I have to go back and look at my numbers, or was it last night the other way around? It was actually 3-3-2 for the Swallows, but I do believe it was 4 innings for the starter, and then it was 3-2 for the relievers. So Yoshida, he was very sharp. He had some movement on his pitches. His split finger was working last night in the 8th inning, but he looked like a different guy when he came out for the 9th. There's a fastball that misses outside to Namba, and the count is 1-0. One thing I did read about in the offseason is that Yoshida was coming in with a different work ethic. There's a fastball that misses down and away, and the count is now 2-0. And he felt that he needed to work a little bit harder at his craft. And I also understand that he was looking to get in better shape. There is a fastball that misses upstairs, and the count now is 2 balls and a strike. And Bunt App Forever is here. Hey, I'm back, he says. Welcome back. So 2 balls and 1 strike. And here's the pitch. It is a fastball that swung on and missed. And the count is now 2-2. We're always glad to have people here. He said, oh, that's Nori. Oh, there he is. I know Nori. Changed your name, Nori. Nice to see you. And there is a fastball. This is swung on. It is lifted into center field. Camping out underneath it is the center fielder, Shiomi. He's going to make the catch, and that is going to retire Namba for the first out of the inning. So 1 up and 1 away, and that's going to bring up the designated hitter, Chuhei Menanami. So good to see you, Nori. Thanks for popping in. So 1 away here in the bottom half of the 3rd inning. It's the 9-hole hitter, Menanami, coming up to the plate. And there is a breaking ball that misses outside. The count is 1-0. Yeah, I'm not sure where our friend Nori is in Japan. I forgot where he is. I think, Ben, you're still in Yokohama, if I'm not mistaken. So here comes the pitch. It is a fastball that misses low, and the count now goes to 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes. So Menanami at the plate. There's a fastball swung on. It is lifted into left field. And turning around and looking back and watching it sail into the seats, as it is a home run for Menanami. And the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham fighters are on the board with their first run of the ball game and the first home run that we've seen in 2 nights. They have evened the score at 1-1. That ball got out in a hurry. And he's got fist pumps for everybody as he's walking along, and there's a lot of fist pumps and a lot of high fives, and finishes off with a chest bump with Shimizu. But he was able to turn that one around in a hurry. Well done. So Nori, where in Tokyo do you call home, or what area? And the reason I asked that is I spent a lot of time in Asakusa, and there is a breaking ball taken for a called strike. And the count is 0-1 to the leadoff hitter, Wang Po Jung. So here's the 0-1 pitch. And there is a changeup that catches the inside corner, and Wang Po Jung is now in the hole 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes. And here comes the 0-2 pitch. And there is a breaking ball that's down in the dirt. And the count runs to 1-2. I've been to the Jinju Stadium a couple times. I've not seen a game there, but I have been there. It's kind of a cool looking complex, and they've got a second stadium literally right across the street. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. And there is is a Kiyomiya. For Kotaro Kiyomiya, he is 1 for 1 tonight. He singled his first time up. And so I have been to the Tokyo Dome as well. Actually, I've been to the Japanese Baseball Hall of Fame that is now housed in the Tokyo Dome. So here comes the pitch. It is a breaking ball. This is swung on. It is lifted to the left side of the infield. Moving over underneath it is the shortstop, Nagioka, and he's going to make the grab, and that is going to do it for the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham fighters in their half of the third inning. But they did get a run in the inning on 1 hit, no errors, nobody left on base. It was the home run by Manami, who has put the Nippon-Ham fighters on the board. So we're through 3 complete. It is now 1-1. We'll be back in just a moment after this. And for our friend Nori, who is in the chat, we give you one of these, Nori. Here's one of our Hall of Fame memories. Welcome back, everybody. We are moving to the 4th inning, top of the 4th inning, and it is going to be the 6, 7, and 8 hitters coming to bat for the Yakult Swallows, and that's going to be Takahiro Araki. It'll be Hideki Nakaoka and Yudai Koga. So that's going to be the 6, 7, and 8 hitters in the batting order. One of the neat things about the Tokyo Dome, for those of you who have been there, and I'm sure with 2 of my listeners that have been there, I get a kick out of the roller coaster that is outside of the Tokyo Dome. You've got that big loop-to-loop across the way. And so here comes Miyamoto, stays on the mound for another inning of work, and the first pitch delivered to Araki is a breaking ball that misses inside. And the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. Miyamoto ready to go back to work, and there's another breaking ball swung on and missed, and the count is now 1-1. Ben says, yeah, Tokyo Dome City. Actually, there's 2 things that stood out for me about it. One was I had a really good, there was a really good ramen place nearby there. There's a fastball that misses inside, that catches the inside corner, and the count is now 1-2 to Araki. And a really good ramen place, and pretty much right near the ramen place was a place that was selling nunchucks and samurai-type gear, and there's a fastball swung on. It is lifted into center field. Moving over to his right is the center fielder Kondo. He's going to make the catch. And that is going to retire Araki for the first out of the inning. That's going to bring up the shortstop Hideki Nagioka. So Nagioka is 0 for 1 tonight. He flew out to right field his first time up. As we mentioned last night, he didn't get the start last night. He came in to replace Nori Aoki. Aoki got the start in left field, and then Nagioka came in. He was 1 for 2 last night. There's a breaking ball taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. So ramen by the Tokyo Dome and a samurai shop, 2 of the most interesting things that I saw. There is a fastball that's fouled away, and the count is now 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes. Miyamoto gets ready to go back to work. He kicks and he delivers. There's a fastball swung on. It is lifted foul. It's going to get into the seats well beyond third base. And the count is going to remain at 0-2. I understand that in Japan that foul balls that are retrieved have to be returned. I find that a bit fascinating. I know that in Europe, from my own experiences, there's a fastball that's swung on and it's again fouled off down the third baseline. And part of it there is because of necessity. There isn't enough baseballs. It's not like you go to the store down the street and buy some baseballs when you're in Europe. It's getting baseballs and baseball equipment is a little bit hard. Although I have to say, I did see wooden baseball bats for sale in Vienna, Austria. There's a fastball swung on. This is lifted into right center field. Charging over on it is the right fielder, and that is the right fielder Imagawa. He makes the catch, and he puts that away for out number 2. I think of the baseball bats, and I was like, wow, I don't know what they're doing there. It's if they got there's certainly not a ton of baseball that's played in Vienna. Well, there are 3 or 4 clubs, but for a city that size, that's hardly anything. I think there's 4, possibly 5 clubs in Vienna. So 2 away, and here comes Niyamoto. He goes back to work. He kicks and delivers. There's a breaking ball that drops into Koga, and the count is 0-1. So after that rocky first inning where he threw 33 pitches, he's only threw 31 pitches since then. There's a fastball swung on it, is lifted to right field. Coming in on it is the right fielder who makes the catch. That's Imagawa, and again he fires it into home plate, even though that's the 3rd out of the inning. So whatever they're doing, they're working on something over there. We saw this last night. He makes the catch, and he fires a bullet to the catcher. And that is out number 3. I'd like to see him forget that it's not the exhibition season, do it in the regular season, and then fire it away somewhere, and runners take extra bases. So for the Yakult Swallows in their half of the 4th inning, they had no runs, no hits, there were no errors, and nobody left the board. Moving to the bottom of the 4th inning, it is the Yakult Swallows and the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham Fighters all tied up at 1. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple minutes. We appreciate y'all being here. Welcome back, everybody. I'm curious to see if they bring Niyamoto back out. He went 65 pitches through the 4 innings, and as we said, it was a really rocky first inning where he threw 33, but he settled down and he retired. He retired basically 10 of the last 11 batters he faced, including picking up a couple of strikeouts en route to that. And so that was really well done. One of the things I wanted to comment on a little bit is the stadium at the Sapporo Dome. One thing that you'll notice is that there is a white line in front of the warning track. And the white line in front of the track, and what it's there for is obviously is that the green AstroTurf or the green turf is the same. And so we do have a change on the mound. We have Hara now on the mound, a right-hander, and I'll get you some of his specs in just a minute. As there is a pitching change for the Yakult Swallows. We are a little slow on some of our updates, and as I mentioned, some of the changes here, the camera work is not as good. There's a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is quickly 0-2 to Condos. So Hara has come in throwing strikes. So one thing is that the warning tracks that are made, and you have to ask yourself, why are the warning tracks made? And there's a fastball swung on and grounded over on the first base side, foul. And so the count is going to remain at 0-2. Well, what they do on the turf field, obviously the reason there's dirt on the warning tracks is when you're running on grass and all of a sudden it changes the surface. You start to feel it as you're approaching the wall. They don't want you running into the wall. There's a breaking ball that misses down. The count is 1-2. Well, what they do on the turf fields is actually in the outfield, they take crushed rock and they drop it onto the grass. Or onto the turf. So when the players are running, even though the color is the same, they can feel the crushed rock under their feet. So that is to tell them that, hey, the wall is approaching. So they start to know. There's a breaking ball that misses down and away. And the count is now 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. There's the 2-2 to Kondo. It is a fastball swung on. It's grounded to second. It's fielded by Yamada. He throws to first. And Kondo is retired. That goes as a ground out. 4-3 for out number 1. That's going to bring up the right fielder, Yuma Imagawa, who's been entertaining me tonight with his balls that he's firing into the infield. So just to backtrack a little bit here on the pitching change, it is Yuri Hara who has entered the game, and Hara last year pitched for the Swallows, and there's a breaking ball that's delivered down to Imagawa, and that count is 1-0. Appeared in 9 games. He was 3-1 last year. Posted an ERA of 2.30. There's a fastball swung on, and it's grounded foul over on the first base side. He pitched in 47 innings. He's a young fella. He's been around since 2016. Young to me anyways. There's a fastball swung on. This is lifted into left field. Moving back on it is the left fielder, Araki, and it's over his head and it's off the wall. And Imagawa is digging for 2. And he will go into second base with a stand-up double. He's a 29-year-old right-hander, so to me he's young. But to everybody else, in this game, he's probably a veteran guy. He's been in the Yakult Swallows, with the Yakult Swallows since 2016 at the NPB level. He was originally drafted in the first round of the 2015 draft. So Yuri Hari is the pitcher right now on the mound. I'm curious to see if they're going to start going 1-1 with some of their guys. So Hari delivers. There's a fastball that catches the outside corner. And the count is 0-1. It is Takuya Kori, who got the start at shortstop tonight. He's batting from the right side. He is yet to get a hit in the exhibition season. He is currently 0 for 6. He takes a fastball for a called strike, and the count is 0-2. Yeah, Ben says makes sense with the crushed rocks. Yeah, it's definitely some turf fields that you go to. As we were talking about the turf fields earlier, there's a fastball swung on. It's a defensive swing. It's hit foul down the first base line. Count remains at 0-2. But you figure with the professional leagues, why they wouldn't change the color. It'd be interesting. Ben says that the Tokyo Dome has a new giant video scoreboard this year. It's good to see that they keep upgrading different things. So here comes the 0-2 pitch to Corey, and instead they throw over to second base, and sliding back feet first into the bag is Imagawa. He was going in the wrong direction, and they tried to backpick on him. And it was a bang-bang play. I wasn't sure if they were using video review in the exhibition games. Of course, there was a bang-bang play last night at second base, and they did use the video review. There's a breaking ball swung on, and it is fouled away. And the count still remains 0-2 to Corey. This is going to be the 14th pitch of the inning by Hara. Here comes the pitch. It is a breaking ball that spins Corey away, and the count is 1-2. I think the theatrics by the right-handed hitting shortstop probably not necessarily needed. as he spins out of the way. So here comes the 1-2 pitch from Hara. He kicks and delivers. It's a fastball swung on. It's grounded to the first baseman, Ozuna. He fields it easily, steps on the bag. But that's going to advance Imagawa over to third with 2 away. That's going to leave it up to the catcher, Hayami. So, of course, Hayami getting the start tonight behind the plate. As we mentioned, there's 2 players in the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham fighter lineup that are wearing triple-digit numbers, and this is one of them. Hayami wearing the popular 122. He was taken in the second round of the 2021 training player draft, I guess as they would call it. And there is a fastball swung on and missed, and the count is 0-1. The other player is the second baseman Namba, who's wearing 155. When I think of numbers like that, I think of football referees in the National Football League, and there's a fastball swung on. It's hit on one hop to the second baseman, fielded neatly by Yamada. He throws to first, and that is going to retire Hayami on a ground out 4-3 for out number 3. And that is going to leave it here in the bottom of the 4th inning with no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 run left aboard for the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham fighters. We're through 4 complete, and we're all knotted up at ones. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back after this in just a couple moments. Welcome back, everybody. We were just talking about some stuff in the chat here with our friend Ben Roberts. He was talking about the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham fighters are building their stadium. I'm not sure if it's 2023 or if it's the year after, but you are correct. They are building a new stadium. And one of the things that, as far as I know, that I have seen, and we do have a new pitcher in the game, it's Furukawa, and he is wearing the popular jersey number 116. I wonder if those are sold in stores. I'll get you his specs in just a moment. I'll come back to my thoughts on the building of that new stadium by the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham fighters. So here's the first pitch. It is a fastball, and that misses low, and the count is 1-0. So for the Swallows, it is 9-1-2 in the batting order. This is Kazu Maruyama. He is 0 for 2 so far in the exhibition season. And the pitch from Furukawa is a fastball swung on and is lifted foul down the third base line. The count is 1-1. So this is Yuri Furukawa. Yuri Furukawa, he had spent 5 seasons with the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles, and then the last 3 years he was with the Yomiuri Giants. There is a bunt that's fouled off on the third base side, and the count is 1-2. He was originally drafted in the 4th round of the 2013 draft by the Golden Eagles. Is a career 6-14 record, and he's appeared in 183 innings in the NPB. And there's a breaking ball that is swung on, and it is blocked by the catcher. He picks it up and he throws to first, and Wang Po Jung had to hang on. And that is going to retire Maruyama on a strikeout 2-3 for out number 1. So this is the third team that he's with. And of course, for the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham fighters, they're going to have to be looking for, I don't want to say looking for anybody, but they really need some help. I mean, you think about it, they've lost 3 big-time pitchers as Shiomi steps up to the plate. And the first pitch, it is a fastball swung on, and it is fouled off on the first base side, and the count is 0-1. And I say 3 big pitchers. You think in the last 10 years, Yu Darvish hit the road, and then it was Shohei Ohtani left, and then Kohei Arihara left. So 3 pretty much big-time starters that you take out of your lineup that have gone to Major League Baseball. There's a fastball swung on. It's tapped over to third. It's fielded by Watanabe. He throws to first. It's high. Then up crawls the ladder, does Wong. He comes down, and they say that he did not make the tag. And so that's going to go in the books as an error to the third baseman, Watanabe. I'd like to get a look at this on the replay to see if Wong did actually apply a tag. So there was plenty of time. Watanabe gets it. He makes a poor throw. It's up the line. And the runner does a good job of avoiding the tag and getting into the base, and he was safe. He may have been tagged, but it would have been a tag after he had reached the base. It was some awkward running by the leadoff hitter, Shiomi. So he is aboard on an error by the third baseman. And it's supposed to bring up Nori Aoki, but instead we're going to have Domingo Santana step up to the plate. So Aoki is done for the night. Domingo Santana makes his first appearance, and our pencil and eraser has to come out. So Santana up ready to hit. And the first pitch he sees is a fastball, and he fouls it off over on the first base side. So, as we mentioned last night, the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham fighters, they played some pretty good defense last night. But today, not so much so far. So Ben Roberts had talked about the building of the new stadium for the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham fighters. I was of the impression it wasn't going to be ready next year. It would have been the year after. Flipping it over to first base, Furukawa dives back in time. But one of the unique things about that stadium that they're building is they're building some condominiums, and apparently those are all sold out that are going to be built into the building. When I think of some of that stuff, I think of the English soccer stadiums. When they tore down Highbury, Arsenal's home stadium, a number of years ago before they built the Emirates, they actually replaced the stadium with the condominium complex. And they kept the pitch, and they kept the old clock. There's a fastball that misses down to Santana, and the count is 1-1. So, in other words, you're building a stadium, but you're building a community. Because if you've got yourself 50 to 100 condominiums right there, obviously right next to the stadium, there's going to be some people that have the baseball interest. And you've already got yourself some people coming, and there's a fastball, and it is delivered, and there goes the runner down to second base. The throw is not in time. It squirts away from the second baseman covering. And so Shiomi is going to get his second stolen base of the night. Yeah, as far as I'm concerned, that's going to go down as an E2 again. That'll be the second error charged to the catcher, which is going to allow Shiomi to go to third base. And that throw was on the right field side of the bag. It actually hit the base runner, Shiomi. So Shiomi's at third base with 1 away. The count is 1-2 on the hitter, Santana, as the last pitch was deemed to be a strike. So here's the 1-2 pitch, and it is a split finger pitch swung on and missed. And Santana has been retired on strikes for the second out of the inning. It's a key strikeout for the right-hander Furukawa. Otherwise, if he can't retire Santana, it's going to create a bit of a problem for him with the runner at third. So that brings up the second baseman, Tetsuto Yamada. Yamada tonight is 0 for 1. He's 1 for 4 in spring training here, or in the exhibition season. And here's the pitch. It is a fastball that is taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1. A nice pitch on the inside corner at the knees. He may have caught a little bit more of the plate than he wanted to. So no balls and 1 strike to Yamada. So here comes the 0-1 pitch, and there's a fastball that misses a bit up to Yamada, and the count now goes to 1-1. Yamada also has a stolen base tonight. One of the things I find fascinating, although it's not coming out of Furukawa's hands, is the amount of rosin that gets onto the pitcher's hands sometimes, and it looks like an exploding puffball out of the hand of the pitcher. So here's the 1-1 pitch. It's a fastball swung on. Diving to his right toward the line to make the play is Watanabe. He throws to first. It bounces a couple of times. It's picked up by the first baseman, Wang Po-jung, and that is going to retire Yamada. So making amends for the earlier error in the inning. A great play by the third baseman, Watanabe. That goes down as a ground out. 5-3 for the third out of the inning. So there was no runs. There was 1 hit. There were 2 errors and 1 runner left aboard. We're moving to the bottom of the 5th inning. It is all knotted up at 1. We'll be back in just a couple moments. We're glad you could be here with us, or whether you're listening on delay, we're also glad that you could be with us. Be right back, everybody. Stay with us. Welcome back, everybody. We are moving to the bottom half of the 5th inning, and the score is all knotted up at 1s. It is going to be the third baseman, Watanabe, who made that nice play to end the inning. He'll be leading off. It's the 7, 8, and 9 hitters, Watanabe, Namba, and the DH tonight, Manami. And we'll see if the Swallows are going to continue to roll out Yuri Hara. Get you the updates there. And we're back to the live action, and it is Hara back for a second inning of work. And the first pitch is a breaking ball that falls in for a called strike. And the count is 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. So there's another breaking ball that drops and buckles the knees of Watanabe, and the count now is 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes. There's a steady diet of breaking balls to Watanabe. This time he swings at it and fouls it away, and it goes straight back. And the count remains at no balls and 2 strikes. I will say the pace of this game, much like last night, very quick. Obviously, the exhibition, there's a fastball taken for a called third strike at the knees. I'm not sure what Watanabe's looking at. That ball was away on the outside corner of the plate. And most hitters are trained to look that way, protect that outside corner of the plate, and react to the inside pitch. And he is down on strikes for out number 1. I'm not sure what he was looking at. That was the first fastball he saw the entire at bat. He saw breaking ball, and then a heater at the knees. And he is retired. So here comes the second baseman, Namba, to the plate, and he sees the first pitch he sees, he swings at it, and it's a fastball lifted into left center field. Moving over to his right is the center fielder, Shiomi, and he's going to make the catch. And that is going to retire Namba for the second out of the inning. So just like that, There is 2 away, and that's going to leave it all up to the offense, the entire offense tonight. This is going to be the designated hitter, Chuhei Manami. Of course, he homered back in the 3rd inning to tie the ball game up. Runs have been at a premium in this series so far. He takes a first pitch fastball over for a called strike, and I think the hitter would want that back. There's another fastball that just misses off the outside corner, and the count is 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Hara working quickly, goes back to work. There's a fastball swung on. It's grounded to third. It's up the line. A nice play by the first baseman, Ozuna. He puts the tag on the runner. Another substandard throw by the third baseman, Markami. We saw that last night. And that is going to retire the side. But you got to tip your hat to the first baseman for making a great play. That goes as a ground out, 5-3 for out number 3. And now we've got our halftime, as I like to call it, as they're going to be cleaning the field and doing some stuff. So we'll be back here in just a couple minutes, everybody. And we'll listen to some tunes. And then we'll be right back with the call at the top of the 6th inning after this. Would you like to support Last Drafts Baseball? We would appreciate it if you did. Be sure to check out our eBay page where we have baseball merchandise. We also have stuff from the Japanese League for those who listen from Japan, but we also do other sports like football and basketball as well. Don't forget, visit Last Drafts Baseball's eBay store to help support the channel. We'll be glad you did. Welcome back, everybody. We'll give you some updates on the out-of-town scoreboard and a few updates. Obviously, it's 1-1 here in the top of the 6th inning at the Tokyo Dome. The bottom of the 5th inning, it is 2-0 for the Yomiuri Giants over the Saitama Seibu Lions. In the bottom of the 4th inning, it is the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks with a 2-1 lead over the Chinichi Dragons. And earlier tonight, it was a final. Yokohama Dana Bay Stars beat the Hiroshima Toyo Carp 7-2. And of course, here it is 1-2-0 for the Swallows. It is 1-4-3 for the Fighters. That is the line. 3 errors, 2 by the catcher and 1 by the third baseman for the Fighters. Of course, it's a little bit different than last night. They had pretty much a cleanly played defensive game. So just a couple of things of note for those who are listening in on delay, just some upcoming stuff that we're going to be doing on our channel. This year in 2022, we plan to call a full slate of games. We'll be doing live as they happen like we're doing right now, but we won't be doing those each night. We are also going to do what we call live on delay. And what that is we will call a game live on YouTube. However, the game will have been completed maybe an hour or 2 earlier. And that way there it is going to be called in the morning on North America time. And then that way people can listen in as such. We have our YouTube shorts. We've been doing quite a bit of those. We have our Japanese shorts that we are going to be running this month. We did one on the Big Boss Shinjo. And so that was something that we had with him as well. We put him out today. We've got another one coming tomorrow. We have, we're going to be doing some player profiles as well through our short videos. And so hopefully you can come on in and stick around and listen to our call. We also are doing the game on Twitch. So all of our games this year will be both on YouTube and on Twitch. And so hopefully our viewers will be able to come in and listen as such. And we do appreciate everybody's support. Our quest to 1,000 subscribers is on the march. And of course, we are still a ways away from that. But we're pretty pleased to be over 700 now. And we do thank those of you who are supporting our channel. So we are going to see if they're going to make a pitching change. So far, it has been 2 pitchers for the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham Fighters. The starter tonight, Haraku Niimoto, went 4 innings. And then Yuri Furukawa came in for an inning of work. We're going to see if the Big Boss is going to continue with the right-hander, if he's going to go to the bullpen. We're just waiting for things to come back, and they are going to the bullpen. Are going to be getting the right-handed pitcher. It's going to be Brian Rodriguez. He is coming into the ball game, the big right-hander, and he is going to be facing the 4, 5, and 6 hitters in the small batting order, the heart of the batting order. It's going to be Murakami, Ozuna, and Araki to face him. There's been a couple other changes, and we'll get those as they come to bat, but there's a new second baseman and a new catcher as well for the Fighters. And the first pitch was a ball delivered to Murakami. And the second pitch is a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. So the pitching parade has begun early tonight for the Ham Fighters with Brian Rodriguez on the mound. So here comes the 1-1, and it is a breaking ball that misses outside. And the count now runs to 2-1. Rodriguez gets the sign from his catcher, and he's ready to go back to work. He kicks and he delivers. There's a fastball. It's fouled off, and it comes up, and it catches the home plate umpire underneath the right arm. That can leave a mark sometimes. You can see it down, and it actually caught him in the forearm off the hip, and it came up. So he might have got triple plate on that one. Bounced off the ground, hit him in the forearm, and it looked like it was just above the wristbands that he has, then off his hip, and then off his bicep. It was a breaking ball that misses upstairs, and the count now runs 3-2 to the left-handed hitting Murakami. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. Rodriguez gets the sign from his catcher. He's ready to go back to work. He kicks and delivers, and it is a fastball swung on and missed. Murakami is down for the second time tonight on strikes for out number 1 here in the 6th inning. It was an interesting kind of grip. It almost looked like it was, I'm not sure if that was a change piece or if that was a split finger pitch the way he was gripping it. I'd have to have a look at that one again. So 1 away, and that brings up the first baseman, Jose Ozuna. Ozuna tonight is 0 for 2. He's 0 for 6 so far in spring training. There's a breaking ball that misses down and away, and the count is 1-0. He's looking to reach base for the first time. So 1 ball and no strikes. Rodriguez kicks and delivers. It's a fastball that misses down, and the count is now 2-0. So Murakami out on strength says the first out. Ozuna, it's 2-0 to him, and on deck is Araki, the left fielder. There's a fastball swung on. It's taken by Watanabe on 1 hop at third. He fires across the diamond, and that is going to retire Ozuna. Ozuna hit it right on the screws. Goes as ground out 5-3, a 1 hop smash right to the hot corner. An absolute bullet. Nice job by the third baseman to stay down on the ball. So 1 away, it's 2 away now, and that brings up the left fielder Takahiro Araki. Araki is 0 for 1 today. He walked his first time up. Here comes the pitch. It's a breaking ball swung on and missed. His second time up, he flew out to center field. So he is officially 0 for 1 today. He'll be followed by the shortstop, Nagioka. There is a changeup that is swung on and missed, and the count now goes to 0-2. Ball had a little bit of depth to it and a little bit of arm side run. Let's see if he comes back with some high heat, or maybe he's going to go away with some heat. So here's Rodriguez with the 0-2. There's a fastball at 151 kilometers an hour. It just misses off the outside corner, so that's about 94 miles an hour. The count is 1-2. I think that might have been one of the faster pitches that he had thrown all night. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Rodriguez holds at the belt. He kicks and delivers. There is a breaking ball swung on. It's grounded to third. Watanabe fields it. On one hop, he throws it over to first. Wong has to take it out of the dirt. I'm not sure if he got him on the tag or if he was able to hold onto the base. Either way, the batter runner is out. That goes down as a ground out, 5-3. So that is the third out of the inning. So for the Tokyo Yakult Swallows, they had no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. We're moving to the bottom of the 6th inning. It is the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham Fighters 1, the Tokyo Yakult Swallows 1. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back with the call of the bottom of the 6th. In just a moment, we're glad you could be here with us. Welcome back, everybody. We're cruising into the bottom of the 6th inning. It is a 1-1 ball game. Pretty entertaining affair so far tonight. A little bit more action than we saw last night. Of course, last night it was a 1-0 affair and only one hit for the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham Fighters in their victory over the Tokyo Yakult Swallows. The game has had decent pace. We've had some action on the base paths. So 1-1 is the scoreline. We're just getting some updates here to see if we're going to have any changes in the lineup. I know there's going to be some changes that are coming to bat. I'm just not sure if they've done the double switch or not, or where they're going to land in the order. So it looks to me, unless there's been a change, if Yari Hara is going to stay in the game for another inning of work. I'll get that update for you in a moment. Slated to come to bat is the top of the order, and that would be Wang Po-jung, Kataro Kiyomiya, and Kensuke Kondo. And the first pitch to Wang is delivered. It is a fastball outside, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. And there's a pitch from the right-hander Hara. It is swung on and tap foul over on the first base side. The count goes even to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Wong batting from the left side. Hara delivers. It's a split finger pitch that misses down and in, and the count is 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike. There's another fastball that misses down and in, and the count is now 3-1. So 3 balls and 1 strike. There's wholesale changes for the Swallows. They've got 4 changes in their lineup. So when they come to bat, we'll see a lot of things. There's a long swing as Wong fouls it off into his right shin. He's got a shin guard on the right leg, and I don't even think that shin guard protected him. It looked like he got it on the inside of the foot. If you've never fouled a fastball off into the inside of the foot, that can hurt big time. Here's the full count now, and here's the 3-2 pitch. It's a fastball swung on. This is lifted into right field. Moving back just in front of the warning track is the right fielder Mariyama, and he's going to make the grab, and Wong is retired for the first out of the inning. So 1 up and 1 away, and that's going to bring up the left fielder Kataro Kiyomiya. The big left-handed hitter, he is 1 for 2 tonight. He singled his first time up, and he popped out to the shortstop his last time up. In the exhibition season, he is 2 for 8 so far. There's the first pitch from Hara. It is a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. So here's the 0-1 pitch. It is a fastball swung on. It's tapped back to the pitcher. Hara fields it. He throws to first, and they retire Kiyomiya by about 8 steps. It goes down as a ground out, 1-3. And that is 2 away. I'm not sure why he wouldn't have taken a little bit more time. So that is 2 away here in the bottom of the 6th inning, and that's going to bring up, or it's slated to bring up, the center fielder Kensuke Kondo. And that's exactly who it is. So Kondo steps in on the left side, and the first pitch he sees is a fastball that misses down and in, and the count is 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. Kondo is 1 for 7 here in the preseason. Here's the pitch. It is a breaking ball that misses outside, and the count is 1-1. Kondo, of course, a veteran on this team. So here's the 1-1 pitch to Kondo. It's a fastball swung on, and it's grounded foul over on the third base side. That runs the count now to 1-2. Kondo is going to be 29 years old in August. So he'll be considered one of the leaders. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. It's a fastball swung on, and it's lifted foul over on the third base side. It's going to reach the seats. The count is going to remain at 1-2. Well, you think about it, in 2020, the Yakult Swallows and the Oryx Buffaloes each finished in last place in their division, and they both ended up in the Japan League Championship last year. So they went from worst to first, and there is a breaking ball swung on. It is lifted into deep left field. Moving back on it is the left fielder. I don't think that's Iraqi anymore, but we'll get that changed for you. But the left fielder makes the grab, and that is going to be the 3rd out of the inning. And that is going to do it for the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham Fighters in their half. They had no runs. There were no hits, there were no errors, and nobody left aboard. We're now through 6 complete at the Sapporo Dome. It is the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham Fighters 1, the Tokyo Yakult Swallows 1, and the umbrellas are up for the Swallow fans. They've got the umbrella dance going in full swing. We'll be back in just a couple moments, and TYN says, yeah, it was a great season last year for Oryx and for the Swallows. That is for sure. Both went from worst to first and met in the finals. We'll be back in a minute. Welcome back, everybody. We are going to the top of the 7th inning. We're glad you are here with us. It is a 1-1 tie. There is a pitching change. Our friend TYN says, yeah, it was a great season for Oryx and Yakult, but not for the Hawks. Hawks made an off-season move in getting a former big leaguer into the middle infield. Freddie Galvis is signed with the Hawks. So it'll be interesting to see how he's going to perform this year in his first foray. I think he signed a 2-year deal, if I'm not mistaken. So interesting to see how he is going to join the fray. We have a right-hander now on the mound for the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham Fighters. There is also a new third baseman as Watanabe is getting the rest of the night off. So as I mentioned, we will get you some of those changes as we move along. So this is going to be the 4th pitcher of the night for the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham Fighters. Brian Rodriguez is done for the evening. They've got a big right-hander on the mound. Looks like it might be number 62. It's Daiki Mochizuki. And he kicks and delivers the first pitch. It is a fastball that is down, but the home plate umpire said that the hitter went around on it, and that would be the 7-hole hitter Nagioka, the shortstop. So Nagioka, Koga, and Mariyama are supposed to be coming to bat in this inning. So here comes the 0-1 pitch. There's a fastball swung on it. It's grounded to first. Wong makes the play. He steps on the bag. That is easily going to retire Nagaoka for a ground out to 3 for out number 1. So 1 up and 1 away. That is going to bring up the catcher Koga, or at least scheduled to bring him up. We're going to see if they've made a change, but it looks like they've got a pinch hitter coming up here. This is number 33. Now the changes are going to be coming fast and furious, and just as they're coming fast and furious, so is our pencil. This is Soma Uchiyama. Soma Uchiyama coming up to bat. So he gets his first plate appearance tonight. And here comes the pitch from the right-hander, and it is a breaking ball. It's like a teardrop, and it drops in there for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. So right-hander against the right-hander. Mochizuki kicks and delivers. It's a fastball that misses down, and the count is 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. So here we go. 1-1 is the count. The big right-hander comes set at the belt. He kicks and he delivers. Here's the pitch. It is a fastball. It is taken for a called strike at the knees. And the count now runs to 1-2. So Uchiyama is behind the count 1-2. The big right-hander gets his sign from his catcher. Mochizuki ready to deliver. Is a fastball that is a split finger pitch. It's down and away. It's fielded on the hop by the catcher. He fires to first, and that is going to retire Uchiyama on a strikeout. 2-3 for out number 2. That is going to leave it up to the right fielder, Maruyama. So it's fairly interesting. The right-handed pitcher, Mochizuki, he really pauses at the top of his delivery. So here we go. Here comes the right fielder. He is 0 for 2 today. He's struck out and grounded out. And he is ready to face in. The first pitch is a fastball, and he is drilled right in the back. And he is going to get himself awarded first base. So it is slated to bring up the center fielder, Shiomi's. Have to get our updates here. And that is indeed what it is. It's Kataro Yamazaki, who is now in the top spot in the batting order. So Kataro Yamazaki into hit. He hits from the left side. Runner at first, and there's 2 away. And the pitch from Mochizuki is a fastball swung on and fouled away. And the count is quickly 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. As we said earlier, we got to keep, in these exhibition games, we got to make sure we keep everything handy here. The eraser's got to be kept handy. Pencil's got to be sharp. We got a lot of changes. So here comes the 0-1 pitch. He squares the bunt, but the pitch is down and away, and the count now goes to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike to Yamazaki. Yamazaki came into the game last night. He replaced the third baseman Murakami. He flew out to left field his last time up in the game last night. Firing over to first base is the pitcher Mochizuki. Diving back in time is the base runner Maruyama. So 1 ball, 1 strike. There's 2 away here in the top of the 7th inning. Mochizuki ready to come back to work. He holds at the belt. He kicks and delivers. It's a fastball that is swung on and fouled, tipped away at the plate. The count is 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. This game has had pretty good tempo and pace to it. We're excited that the games are going to be going back to extra innings. So here comes the pitch. It's a fastball that misses away, and the count is 2-2. Certainly the regular season games. I'm not sure if the exhibition games are going to go extra innings or not. I know sometimes in Major League Baseball that they don't go extra innings. The reason for that is sometimes the pitchers aren't being used up and so on and so forth. And there they throw over to first base, and getting back in time is base runner Mariyama head first back into the bag. So here we go. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. Holding out the belt. It's Mochizuki. He kicks and delivers. There's a fastball swung on and missed. And that is going to do it for Yamazaki as he is retired on strikes for out number 3. So in the inning, there were no runs, there were no hits, no errors, and 1 runner on the hit batter left the board. We're going to the bottom of the 7th inning. It is the Tokyo Yakult Swallows 1, the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham Fighters 1. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back with the call of the bottom of the 7th inning after this. We're glad you could be here with us. Here's some tunes for you to listen into. Welcome back, everybody. We're anticipating the heart of the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham fighter batting order coming up. It's supposed to be Imagawa, Corey, and then it's going to be Usami, the catcher. We're just taking a look to see if we're going to have any type of changes. Usami, of course, has come in to replace the starter. That's Shingo Usami. We'll replace the starter Hayami. So Shingo Usami in the 6th spot for those of you at home keeping score. And it's going to be Imagawa to get things going. As we mentioned, there has been a few changes in the ball game now. We've got Shimizu is in at 3rd. He had replaced Watanabe, so we'll get his name into the lineup. I'm sure he'll be finishing off the rest of the evening. That's Yushi Shimizu. Shimizu did not get the start last night. He did come in, and he struck out looking in his one time to the plate. We'll tell you more about him when he comes to the plate. So here we go to get things going, Imagawa. And they do have a new right-hander on the mound for the Yakult Swallows. And we'll get you on that update as well. Big power throwing right-hander. The first pitch is a fastball down, and there's a fastball swung on by Imagawa. It's grounded to the shortstop. It's fielded neatly by the shortstop Nagioka. He fires over to first, and that is going to retire Imagawa for the first out of the inning. So 1 up and 1 away, and that's going to bring up the shortstop Corey, or is scheduled to bring up the shortstop Corey. We'll see if he is indeed coming up to bat. That's exactly who it is. He's 0 for 7 so far in the exhibition games, and there's a fastball swung on it, is lifted into right field. Moving in on it hard is the right fielder, Mariyama, and he's going to make the catch. A nice play by the right fielder who had to charge hard, and that is going to, on one pitch, retire Corey for the second out of the inning. So 2 away. I haven't even had a chance to introduce the pitcher. It's Naofumi Kazawa properly. So Naofumi Kazawa is the new pitcher in the ball game. So here we go back to the live action, and it is the first pitch to Osami is a fastball that misses down and away, and the count is 1-0. So this is his first at bat of the ball game. He was a first-round pick in the 2020 draft out of Keio High School. And then, out of Keio University. He went to Keio High School. So 2 balls and no strikes as that fastball misses down. So Kayazawa ready to go back to work. He holds at the chest. He kicks and delivers. There's a fastball swung on. It is lifted into left field. Moving back on the warning track and watching it leave the park is the left fielder, but it's just to the left of the foul pole. But the big boss is wanting to see if there is going to be a video review on this. He's got the signal. He looks like a orchestra conductor with the signal for the VAR. But based on what I've seen, I think this is going to be all for naught. We'll get our look at the instant replay review. But it's worth a look anyways. I'd be surprised if this one was overturned. But you got to give credit to the catcher, Usami. He went the other way with it. We're getting the look at it here. And I'm curious to see. Nope, that's a foul ball. And I'll tell you why I think it's a foul ball is because the second angle that we saw, the ball, we lose sight of it to the foul pole, and then we pick it up again. So that tells me that it was on that other side. I think that's just a long strike for Usami. It's going to put the count to 2-1, but we'll wait for the umpires to come back to give the official verdict. We'll see where that is. We've got Ben Roberts back in the house. Ben says they're allowing some foreign students back into Japan recently. Yeah, that's good to know. I'm curious to see how that is. I will say this: I'm not planning on any foreign travel even this year at Christmas time. I normally get a couple of weeks off. I try to book it around our proverbial Christmas holidays. And here comes the 2-1 pitch. And there's a fastball swung on. It's grounded over foul just past the first base side. And the count now goes to 2 balls and 2 strikes. But I think this year, even though travel is opening back up, it's still a bit of a pain, even getting into our own country here. They just dropped on Monday. We were still having to get PCR tests to get back into the country. So if you wanted to go over and buy groceries in the United States and to come back, you would have had to get a PCR test, which is crazy. The proverbial virus has no borders. There's a ground ball to the second baseman. It is fielded. It is flipped over to first. And Usami is retired on a ground out, 4-3 for the third out of the inning. And I don't know if that is still Yamada at second base, but we'll get you that update when we come back. For the Nippon-Ham Fighters in their half of the 7th, no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left aboard. We'll be back in just a moment. We'll finish off our thoughts about some of these touristy things that we'd like to get back into action and get traveling around again. So hang tight, everybody. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. We are moving right along here. We are going to the top of the 8th inning, and we'll get you the updates here as we have them. It's supposed to be the 2, 3, and 4 hitters in the batting order for the Yakult Swallows. Now, Nori Aoki started as the DH, and Domingo Santana had replaced him, so we're anticipating Santana. And then we'll take a look and see what the others are as they come to the bat. So it is Miyamoto and Akanabe who are now into the ball game. So that means that Takashi Miyamoto is in the lineup, and he has replaced Tetsudo Yamada. So we'll get him into our books. So Miyamoto is in. We also have a new pitcher for the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham fighters. It is Kitayama. So the pitching parade will continue. We have a new right-hander ready to go. That's Wataru Kitayama. He is a right-hander here. So it looks like it's going to be Santana, Miyamoto, and Akanabe. It is Yoshihiro Akahani. So it is Santana to get things going here in the top of the 8th inning. He is 3 for 7 in the exhibition. And he takes a fastball for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. And there's a pile of changes now for the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham fighters as well, as Wong is no longer at first base. We have a new left fielder and center fielder. I'll get you that information as it is available. There's a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is now 0-2 to Santana. As we said before at the outset, the exhibition games allow for a lot of different players to come into the game. They kind of almost run like a split lineup, get their guys a couple at bats and get them out of there. There's a fastball that bounces up to the plate. And the count is 1-2 to Santana. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. And here comes the pitch. It's a fastball swung on and missed. And that is going to retire Santana for the first out of the inning. So I know Ben Roberts, I think he's still in the house here. He says it could still be some time before things get back to what are considered to be normal. I don't know about you, Ben, but certainly where we're at, I have to tell you, the pandemic is pretty much off of the airwaves. Everything that is going on has to do what's going on in Eastern Europe. And a lot of concern for a lot of people. I'm not sure what kind of news coverage you guys are getting over there. There's a fastball that misses upstairs, and the count is 1-0. Lots of concern on many fronts. So as I'm sitting here, I've got television going on in the background and getting what I would consider to have some more updates on that situation. There's a fastball that swung on and fouled away. It's truly an unfortunate situation, and we're here to talk about baseball. But sometimes it's hard to not talk about global events that are going on. There's the 1-1 pitch. There's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike. And the count is 1-2. Yeah, headline news on a number of fronts. One thing I will say is that I had the opportunity, it'll be in 2019 now, when I went to Austria. We took our group of kids, and then, of course, after we were done there, we went to the Czech Republic. There's a breaking ball that's fouled away, and the count remains at 1-2. But I had the opportunity to go to Poland and to Slovakia. So first time I'd been to both of those countries. Actually, first time I'd been to the Czech Republic as well. Czech, Slovak, and Poland were all new to me. And rather enjoyed that journey. Just the extra time to do some traveling. I thought it was fantastic. Here's the 1-2 pitch, and there is a split finger pitch that is swung on and missed, and that is going to retire Miyamoto for the second out of the inning. So 2 strikeouts here for the right-hander Kitayama. And that is going to leave it all up to the Yoshihiro Akane, who is coming up to the plate. As I look at my lineup card from last night, which is almost now as much of a mess as this one is. Akane got the start last night as the right fielder. He's wearing the 023 number. So here comes the first pitch. It's a breaking ball that misses up and in, and the count is 1-0. I mean, I don't even know how to describe it. I'm not going to get into the politics, but boy, it's absolutely unbelievable. There is a breaking ball that is taken for a called strike, and the count is 1-1. Ben says, if I remember correctly, don't they play some baseball in Slovakia? I had a national team pitcher from Slovakia play for me in Germany 14 years ago. He'd probably be in his young 30s, but he was a power arm. But he didn't have a lot of movement on his stuff, on his pitch. He was basically learning, but he had a plus fastball, that's for sure. So 1 ball and 2 strikes now to Akane. Croatia, there's also baseball in Croatia, but not as much. They're really a B pool type of European type team. Here's the 1-2 pitch, and there's a fastball that misses outside. The count is 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Kitayama looking to finish off the side 1-2-3 all via strikeout. And I lost that last one over there. I got caught up in something else here. And so that is going to do it for Kitayama. We'll see if that's going to be on the replay here. Here comes the last pitch. He kicks and delivers, and he's able to strike out the side. And they go down 1-2-3 here in the top of the 8th inning. So I'm easily distracted right now as we were trying to keep up with all the lineup changes. So we're going to the bottom of the 8th inning. But in the top of the 8th for the Swallows, no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left aboard. It'll be the 7, 8, and 9 hitters coming to the bat for the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham fighters. Stick around, everybody. We'll be right back after this. Just chatting with the chat a little bit here with Ben Roberts, and Ben said, yeah, right around that region. And as a matter of fact, I was actually supposed to go to the Ukraine. So as you probably remember, in 2017, the events of Crimea were going on. And so there was some, I want to say some danger, but, it really wasn't what I would call imminent danger in the rest of the country. There were fighting and stuff going on in that area. For pretty much the rest of the Ukraine, it was pretty good. But there was one of the parents of one of our players was supposed to come over and to meet us there, and we were going to go and see some things in the Ukraine, obviously. And on the hit list was, well, the Russians say Kiev, but the Ukrainians say it a little differently. And we were looking at going there, and maybe even to Lviv as well. But unfortunately, sometimes it's lost opportunity is the way I would put it. And we never ended up getting it done. So here we are back to the live action. The Swallows have a lefty on the mound, and the first pitch is swung on and it's grounded to the shortstop. We can't even get all the changes here. So one pitch and one away. And that was a pinch hitter. It was Shimizu at the plate. Well, the first pitch he sees grounds out to the shortstop. That goes as a ground out, 6-3 for out number one. And the left-handed pitcher that is in for the Swallows is number 26. We'll see if we can get an update on him. Looks like it's Sakamoto. Koshiro Sakamoto. So Sakamoto is there, and they've got another pinch hitter at the plate here. The first pitch is a fastball that misses for a ball up and in, and the count is 1-0. So Sakamoto on the mound. There's a fastball swung on. It is lifted softly into right field, and it's going to get down between the right fielder and the second baseman. So the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham fighters have a base hit. So Sakamoto, it was actually pretty much a bleeder. That ball is able to get down, and that is the second baseman Kazunari Ishii, who's into the game, who has replaced Anamba. So Ishii aboard with a base hit. And that is going to bring up the designated hitter, who's been the only offense tonight for the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham fighters, and that is Manami. Manami is 2 for 9 in the spring training games. So 2 for 9. But he's got the big blow tonight with the solo home run back in the third inning. So he digs himself in, ready to face the left-hander Sakamoto. And here comes the pitch. It's a fastball swung on. It is popped up on the right side of the infield. And it's going to be the second baseman who cruises over underneath it and makes the grab. I've got to check to see if that is Miyamoto who is in that position. I do believe it is. It's Miyamoto who makes the grab. So one pitch and one away there, and that is going to leave it up to the top of the order. It's no longer the King Wangpo Young coming to the plate. It is Asama who is in the game. Asama, of course, got the start last night. Daiki Asama. This will be his first at-bat of the ball game. Asama did get the start last night. He got the start at third base. And here's the pitch. It's a fastball that misses inside, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. It's good to see. I've got we're running on the Twitch channel, and we've got somebody pops in and gives us their spam there. Asking the question. Not everybody can see it on the YouTube portion. You won't see it. There's a fastball swung on and fouled away. And the count is 1-1 now to Asama. So the question is, do you want to become famous? How to buy followers, primes, and viewers. It gives you all the rest of that stuff. Well, I'm not really interested into that. We want subscribers who actually care about the channel and want to come back and listen and watch. There's a fastball from Sakamoto that misses outside. The count is 2-1. So back to Ben Roberts, as I was telling a little bit of that story there. So we're supposed to get to the Ukraine. And, you think about it. I've had the opportunity to get to Japan a couple of times, and I'm very grateful for that. And I've had a chance to travel into Europe, and I'm grateful for that as well. But sometimes if you miss an opportunity, you may never get that opportunity again. And there's a throw over to first base, and diving back in time is the base runner, Ishii. Another piece that I was going to mention to you too is that also, the had a friend of the family who was in industry, and he was working in China a number of years ago. And so what happens is there's a fastball that is taken for a called strike, and the count is now 2-2 to Sama. We had a friend who was working and living in China for about 8 years, and even there was an opportunity to go across. And at the time, I really didn't have an interest. And now I reflect back and I look at it and I say I should have taken that time, because, to be quite honest, I don't know if I'll ever set foot into that part of the world. Just the way things have seemed to change over the last little bit. So sometimes you get the opportunities, you gotta take advantage of it while they're there. There's a fastball that misses upstairs, and the count now goes to 3-2. So 3 balls, 2 strikes to Osama, and they're going to have to make sure, Ishii's going to have to make sure that the pitcher goes to the plate. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. There's not much action in this crowd tonight, that's for sure. So here's the 3-2. It is a breaking ball swung on. It scoots away from the catcher. He fires down to first, and they are going to retire Osama. That's going to go down as a strikeout, 2-3. It squirted by him. The runner at first was trying to go all the way to third. He probably would have been there if they would have been safe at first. But that is the third out of the inning, and we are going to the top of the ninth. So we're through 8 innings. It is a 1-1 ball game, and we will probably have changes because the big boss is out of the dugout, and he is talking to the home plate umpire. So we can pretty much be guaranteed we got a new pitcher coming into the ball game. So it's 1-1 here through 8 innings. We'll be back in just a couple minutes with the call of the 9th inning. Hang tight, everybody. Our friend Ben Roberts says they're panning a crowd, a lot of women at the game tonight, and maybe it's ladies' night on Thursday night in Hokkaido, because you're absolutely correct. Every time they shoot to the crowd, we got a lot of young ladies in attendance. So maybe that's their way to draw some more fans in, is to show all the young ladies in the seats where their male counterparts. We don't know. And there is a pitching change here. So there is number 35, a right-hander, is in the ball game. We'll get you that change in just a moment. Some of my stuff here, I'm looking at my updated rosters, and this looks like it's going to be Takahiro Nishimura. So Takahiro Nishimura is in the ball game. This is going to be the 6th pitcher used. He is a right-hander. I'm not going through some of the stats from last year with everybody here tonight, but he is taking over on the mound, Takahiro Nishimura. And we have, it's supposed to be the 5, 6, and 7 hitters in the order. And Jose Ozuna is not going to be coming to bat this time. We've got a left-handed stick facing the right-hander. It's a fastball taken inside. And the count is 1-0. So just as this is happening, I'm trying to get the updates as well here with the offense. There's a fastball swung on and missed, and the count is now 1 ball and 1 strike. So 1 ball and 1 strike. There's a fastball swung on. It is lifted into left field, and that ball is going to reach the seats. And that is going to run the count at 1-2. It looks like they moved Kondo into left field to have the fighters. He stays in the ball game. So the hitter here is Taisi Yoshida. Obviously in the ball game to replace Ozuna. As we've said here, we've got multiple changes. Here's the 1-2 pitch. It's swung on, it's tapped in front of the plate. The catcher, Usami, comes out. He can't handle it. It's a hot potato. And that is going to allow the pinch hitter there, Yoshida, to reach first base. It was a split finger pitch. The ball was chopped right down into the plate. The catcher came out, and it just went off the tip of his glove, and then he does a juggling act with it. The pitcher ends up fielding the ball, but they have no play at first base. I'm not sure how they're going to rule it. I would actually rule that as a single. That was a difficult play as he was coming forward. I don't think I would be as harsh to rule that as an error, but you never know. So the big boss has got his hands moving. He's bringing people in all over the place. The outfielders, he wants them in a little bit more shallow. And here we go. Now we're into the short game as they throw over to first base, and the batter at the plate is squaring to bunt. And as he is squaring to bunt, gives some information to the defense. We really didn't see a whole lot of bunting last night. Or not, maybe not in mid-season bunting form right now. They're letting him swing the bat a bit. So here comes the pitch. It is squared upon, and it is bunted foul right at home plate. And the count is 0-1. This is still Iraqi in the ball game tonight. He is 0 for 2 in a walk. As we mentioned before, it's wholesale changes right now in the lineup. Have to keep our eyes peeled on who's where and what's where. So it's still Iraqi and Nagioka coming up. So the bottom part of the order looks like it's still the same, and there's a breaking ball that sends Iraqi stumbling into the dirt, and the count is now 1-1. He was squaring to bunt and ends up down in the dirt. So 1 ball and 1 strike. We're in the top of the 9th inning. We're all knotted up at ones. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Nishimura gets the sign from his catcher. He's ready to go back to work. Again, a square to bunt. It's a terrible bunt. It's right back to the pitcher. He fields it over to second for 1, back to first. An absolutely terrible bunt by Iraqi. He bunts into a double play. That's going to go as a ground out, 1-6-3. Couldn't have been a worse situation. And that gets the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham fighters out of a bit of a pickle. Nice play to come off the mound to field it pretty easy, and they get him. It wasn't even close at first base. So that's 2 away, and that's going to leave it up to the shortstop, Hideki Nagioka. So Nagioka strides up to the plate. There's a first pitch fastball that is dropped by the catcher, but the plate umpire gives him a called strike. Sometimes That's something that you don't always see. You definitely, the umpires, if a guy doesn't catch the ball, you might get an earful from the bench. You got to make him earn it. Got to make him earn those calls. And there's a fastball that's swung on. It's grounded over to first base foul. The count quickly is now 0-2. So I know Ben's still in the stream, but I don't know if, or maybe Ben's not in the stream anymore. Thanks a lot for stopping in, Ben. We appreciate you being here. I was going to ask the question if you knew if these games are going extra innings in the exhibition season. So here comes the 0-2 pitch. We'll be back on again tomorrow night. So 1 ball and 2 strikes now to Nagioka. So here we go back to the live action. Comes the 1-2 pitch. There's a fastball down. It's taken in the dirt. The count now goes to 2-2. So that looked like a split finger fastball. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. And here's the pitch. It's a fastball that misses upstairs from the right-hander Nishimura. And that runs the count to 3-2 now to Nagioka. So here we are, ready to go back to work. Here comes the 3-2 pitch. It's a fastball swung on and missed. And that is going to retire Nagioka on strikes for out number 3 here in the top of the 9th inning. So for the Yakult Swallows, they had no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and nobody left the board. We're going to the bottom of the 9th inning. It is all knotted up at ones. Stick around, everybody. We'll be right back in just a couple moments. Thank you guys for being with us. Here's our friend Matt.
Well, you got to have an ace in the hole, a little secret that nobody knows. Life is a gamble, a game we all play, but you've got to save something for a rainy day. You've got to learn to play your cards right if you expect to win in life. Don't put it all on the line for just 1 roll. You've got to have an ace in the hole.
Welcome back, everybody. We're going to the bottom of the 9th inning, and it is going to slated to come to bat is Kiyomiya, Kondo, and Imagawa. But we'll take a look to see if we have any changes here in the lineup. It looks like it is going to be Kiyomiya, Kondo, and Imagawa. To get things going here in the bottom of the 9th, we'll check the lineup for the Swallows as they had a left-hander Sakamoto in the 8th. We're just waiting for some updates here. I'd be surprised if we didn't see Sakamoto again, but we are only seeing him for 1 innings. They do have a right-hander now in the ball game. It is number 44. And number 44 for the Swallows is Hiroki Onishi. So Hiroki Onishi into the ball game. And he is going to take over here in the 9th inning. So Onishi gets the ball. We're ready to go back to work as he's completed his warm-up tosses. We're ready to get this action back underway. Another game with some pretty good pace to it tonight. We're 2 hours and 27 minutes. So Kiyomiya gets in, ready to go to work. He is 2 for 9 in the exhibition season. Tonight, he is 1 for 3. He singled his first time up. He popped the short and grounded to the pitcher. So here comes the first pitch to him. It's a fastball swung on and lifted foul over on the third base side. And the count quickly goes to 0-1. There are also changes for the Swallows defensively. But as we've been mentioning all night, some of our challenges are to keep up with the changes. There's a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is now 0-2. So Kiyomiya is in a hole, fouled the first pitch off, and takes a pitch on the outside corner. So here comes the 0-2 pitch. There's a breaking ball that is taken for a called third strike. Kiyomiya walking back to the dugout, confused, for out number 1 here in the bottom of the 9th inning. Not really happy with himself. Not sure what he was looking for in that situation. It was a breaking ball that was one of those ones that was above the belt. He probably could have taken and hammered somewhere into the seats. It's going to bring up Kensuke Kondo, who is 1 for 3 tonight. Kondo singled way back in the first inning, and here's the first pitch. It is a fastball swung on. It's lashed foul down the left field line. And the count is quickly 0-1. So Kondo singled, grounded to second, and flew out to left in his 3 trips to the plate. So holding the ball at the belt is Onishi. He kicks and he delivers. There is a breaking ball that misses inside. The count goes even to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. So the only offense tonight for the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham fighters was the home run by Minami. So here comes the pitch. It is a fastball that misses down. And the count is now 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike. Here's the 2-1 pitch. It's a fastball swung on. It's grounded through the 4-hole into right field, and Kondo has got himself a 1-out base hit single. And that is going to bring up the right fielder, Imegawa. So the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham fighters are not dead yet. Hobbyist says good morning. And welcome in, Chris. Thanks for popping in. The Hokkaido Nippon-Ham fighters are looking to make it 2 in a row here over the Yakult Swallows. I got exhibition baseball in Japan. There is a pinch runner for Kondo, as we mentioned. Getting the numbers, there's a lot of players that are moving in and out. We're always a little bit slow right now in doing that. This is number 56. And then, of course, we have number 64 at the plate. So we got some changes here. So Imegawa is not batting. And the pinch runner almost gets himself picked off at first base. That is a cardinal sin. So 56 is pinch running, and we can't seem to get a update on who that is. Oh, there it is. It's Ryohei Hosokawa. He's the pinch runner. So right-hander against the left-hander. Onishi ready to deliver. And again, he throws over to first base. And again, getting back to the base in time as the pinch runner. Hosokawa. So we're here on the bottom of the 9th inning. It's 1-1. Runner on first. Hosokawa. There's 1 away. And here comes the Pitch it is a split finger pitch that misses down, and the count now goes to 1 ball and no strikes. So the hitter right now, the pinch hitter is Yua Tamiya. Tamiya got the start in last night's game. So he has replaced Imagawa. So Tamiya is at the plate. Here's the 1-0 pitch. It's a fastball swung on. It's lashed foul down the third baseline, and the count is 1-1. And by the looks of it, he has broken his bat. He's got to go back to the dugout to get a new piece of lumber. That was a two-seam fastball that had a lot of arm side run to it. He was able to swing, but yes, definitely the bat was broken. So he's got to go back and get himself a new piece of lumber. And stuff you don't see in Major League Baseball. Tamiya comes sprinting back to the plate. I always get a kick out of that, maybe because it's so far to the dugout. Hobbyist says, sounds like a good game. It's been decent. Thanks for stopping in, Chris. We appreciate you being here. So here comes the 1-1 pitch. Tamiya with that slightly open stance, hitting from the left side. And again, throwing over to first base is Onishi. Again, getting back in time as the base runner, Asagawa. So 1 ball and 1 strike. So Onishi gets the sign from his catcher. He's ready to go back to work. He kicks and delivers. There's a fastball, and the catcher for the Swallows, Uchiyama, was really popping out, ready to come up, ready to make a throw. They're nervous about that runner at first base. So 2 balls and 1 strike. Onishi ready to go back to work. There's a fastball that's taken for a called strike. And the count now goes even to 2-2 to Tamiya. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. So 2-2, here we go. Ready to go back to work is Onishi. He holds at the belt. He kicks and delivers. There's a fastball swung on. It is lifted foul over beyond the third base dugout. It's into the seats. And we're going to do the 2-2 pitch all over again. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Onishi gets the sign from his catcher. He comes set at the belt. He kicks and delivers. There's a fastball swung on. It's tapped over to third. It's fielded by the third baseman. It's fired over to first. It's a tough play by the first baseman. He makes the play, but he has to come off the bag into foul territory. But the batter is out. That goes down as a ground out. 5-3 for the second out of the inning. It's going to advance Kondo over to second. And that is going to bring up the shortstop, Takuya Kori, who is 0 for 3 tonight. He's got a chance to win the ball game with a base hit. Base hit ends the ball game. It is a very shallow outfield. Even though there's 2 away, they're very, very shallow because he's got to be able to throw somebody out. So the runner at second is the pinch runner. So the fighters are looking to try to walk this baby off. There's a first pitch fastball. It's inside. They peel down to first base, but the first base umpire said he doesn't go. So Hasakawa is the runner at second. And it's 1 ball and no strike to the shortstop, Corey. So 1 ball and no strikes. Onishi holds at the belt. He kicks and delivers. It's a fastball swung on. It is grounded foul just past the third base bag. And that is going to even the count at 1-1. Base hit here, and it's all over. So Hasakawa gets his lead at second base. Onishi gets on the hill, ready to go back to work. The big boss has got his Oakley sunglasses. Looks like he's changed his glasses, though. So here's the 1-1 pitch. There's a fastball that was up out of the zone, and Corey went chasing, and he fouls the pitch away, and the count is now 1-2. So the big boss has come out of the dugout. Not sure what he's doing, and walking back toward the dugout is Corey. I don't know if that's because he's going to replace his bat or if he's coming out of the ball game. And they're bringing Sato in to hit. Well, this is bizarre. So they're bringing Sato in to hit, and it's got 1 ball and 2 strikes. Why he wouldn't have started the at-bat, I don't know. But he comes up with a 1-2 count on him. So here we go. Very, very strange. So this is Ryusi Sato into the ball game with a 1-2 count on him, as Corey is back to the dugout, and that is a fastball that misses inside. Interesting maneuver by the big boss. Maybe it was because he swung at that pitch about his eyeballs. Got him taken out of the game. So 2 balls and 2 strikes, and Sato asks for time and steps away at the plate. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 away here in the bottom of the 9th inning. I guess we're going to find out if we're going to extras or not tonight. Here's the pitch. It's a fastball swung on. It is lifted foul over on the first base side. The count stays even at 2-2. As we mentioned before, this year the regular season games are going to go extra innings. I'm just not sure if the exhibition games are going to go extra innings or not, but we're in a position here in a moment we're about to find out. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Sometimes in Major League Baseball, they don't go extra innings. On the North American side, they'll stop the game after sometimes 9, maybe 10 innings, depending on the amount of pitching that the teams have. It might be a similar situation here as well, depending on how many arms that the teams have at their disposal. But again, we're going to have a moment to find this out. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. There's not been a lot of offense between these two teams on both nights. There's only been 3 runs scored. There's a fastball swung on. It's tapped over to third. It's fielded by the third baseman. He throws to first. And that is going to retire Sato on a ground out, 5-3. And that is going to be the 3rd out of the inning. And it's 1-1 through 9. So let's see what's going to happen here. Or have we got ourselves the end of the ball game? As I said before, I'm not sure if we're going to go extras here or not. But it was an interesting, very interesting finish to the game as Corey gets removed from the game. And that is going to do it. Where there's no extra innings tonight. The Swallows are given high fives as they're coming off the field. The Fighters had a chance to win. They just couldn't quite pull it off. We'll give you the totals here in just a moment. The final totals of the ball game. Tonight for the Tokyo Yakult Swallows, they had 1 run on 2 hits. There were no errors made. So hits were at a premium. The Hokkaido Nippon-Ham Fighters had 1 run, 5 hits. They made 4 errors. They didn't play as clean a game as they did last night. I think they made some pretty spectacular plays. There was a lot of pitchers in the ball game used by the Fighters tonight. They went through 6. 5 were used by the Swallows. That is going to do it for tonight's ball game. So we want to take a moment to thank everybody for tuning into our live broadcast. We will be back on again tomorrow night. So for those of you who are interested in checking back in, we will be back on the air again tomorrow. We'll just confirm what we are going to be calling for you tomorrow. It's, I believe, the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks. And we're going to be playing the Chinichi Dragons, but I don't believe it's Chinichi tomorrow night. Take a quick peek at that update for you, and we'll make sure that you know where we're at. So that is going to be the Friday ball game. It's going to be the SoftBank Hawks and the Chibalote Marines from the Pepe Dome. At the same time, it'll be 1 o'clock Pacific time on the west coast of Canada and the United States. So hopefully you can join us for that one. We're excited to give you that call. And then after that, our next games won't be until next week. Will be on Wednesday, the 9th. We'll do the SoftBank Hawks and the Yomiuri Giants. All right, everybody. Once again, you've listened to another Last Rouse Baseball video production. We hope you all have a great night. Come on back and see us again later. We appreciate your time in watching and listening to our call of all the action. Have a great night, everybody.